I mean, this is unprecedented levels of consistency now. 24 episodes in a row. I don't know how people don't do this more often. I mean, I have ruined my social life and work is about to fire me and my family don't speak to me anymore, but at least I'm uploading the episodes consistently. Now, the last time we met, we took on Southampton away from home and lost to them by 2-0. My former favourite Danny Ings scored both of the goals. Of course he did, because everyone on my former players comes back to haunt me, and I cannot wait for it to happen again in this episode. So we've only played 3 games since we lost to Southampton away from home, and the first game was against Cardiff and we beat them by 3-0. Ollie Burke goes off to a great start with this solo run and finish after 10 minutes. And then Neil Morpie or Morpay or Mapai, or I pronounced it 5 different ways this series. He finished off the victory in injury time with this great finish inside the box. When we took on West Ham away from home, Livakovic threw the ball straight at Hudson-Odoi and he slotted it into the back of the net as the match engine shit itself. And then when we took on Wolves, Wesley headed Wolves into a 2-1 lead on the stroke of half time. And for a majority of the rest of the game, it looked like we were going to pretty much lose the match. But Philip Billings' long ball found Neil Morpie or Morpay, I still don't know how to pronounce it, and he slotted it in to get us a 2-2 draw. It means that we still stay in 7th place, although we do take on Liverpool and Fulham in this episode. And Liverpool are currently in the top 4, so we are chasing them. Sort of, and Fulham are somewhere near the bottom of the league, so if we lose to them, then I really don't know what to say anymore. It seems like every time I play off camera, we win, and we win resoundingly, and when I turn the camera on, we just get beat. And if anyone's going to say I'm restarting the game, how can I do that if I'm uploading consistently? So Steve Mounier is having an awful time at the moment, and after the Southampton game, I found out he's gone 10 games without scoring. I look back at that episode where we could have sold him, and then I decided not to, and now I regret it every day. I'm sure his replacements, Peter Odemwingie and Kenwyne Jones, could have done a better job than this. Chris Hughton has spoken to the press and said that he doesn't think my team has what it takes to stay up this year, despite the fact that we've been top half pretty much all season. No wonder you get sacked all the time, Chris. I mean, me saying that works both ways for me and him. And then apparently I said avoiding relegation won't be easy. I'm pretty sure I never said that. Unless I've clicked the wrong option again. So Khan Ian has also gone out to the press and said that he wants to be playing first team football. So I've definitely given him that, as I've sold him to Augsburg and he's going to be joining them in January. It seems like all my centre backs want to stab me in the back at the moment. Callum Hudson-Odoi also got 3rd in Young Player of the Month, which it says a lot because he didn't score or assist. So I'm not sure how he got 3rd. And then again, that sort of award is a joke because Steve McLaren got Manager of the Month in the Championship. Steve McLaren. Are you having a laugh? So Michael Hefele has also sung Ollie Burke's praises just before the West Ham game. Still can't get into the Scotland team, so I don't see why he tried. Eros Grezda came back from injury and then got himself injured again. 11.5 million for him to sit on the treatment table. Another masterful signing by me. So the omens must be good for us because we beat the Liverpool under-23s 3-0 in the warm-up to the real game, which will be happening in this episode. And my under-23s also made it through in the Checker Trade Trophy, so I mean, I can't wait to go to Wembley and then 5 people turn up in our end. Steve Mounier also scored 2 goals on international duty against Botswana, which is actually double the amount that he scored for me this season. I mean, Botswana and Cardiff City, they're the same level, Steve. I don't know how you can't score against Cardiff City, but you couldn't score against Botswana twice. Elias Kachunga has also played about 2 games this year and wants to be on the transfer list for some attention. So I gave it to him. I mean, that sounds wrong if you put it like that. Jurgen Klopp has also come out to the press and has credited me for my overachievement so far with Huddersfield this year. I can't wait for that to go to my head. Not like my head is big enough already. But before we take on Liverpool, I can confirm that we have made a signing just before we take him on. And he was a free transfer. And it's someone I feel like could become a leader in the dressing room. So joining us is Ashley Young, the former Manchester United, Aston Villa and Watford winger / defender. And yeah, as I said, I needed a leader. No, I'm not going to bullshit anymore. I just panicked. I just needed someone I could bring in. And also, a bird shit in his mouth once, and I speak like a bird shit in my mouth, so at least we have that in common. So Ashley Young is apparently only a decent player for League One side, so he'll fit in right at home here. I found out I have to wait until January to register him. Great signing, Proudy. Again, moron. But now we move into our game against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are currently holding a top 4 spot while we're chasing Europe, so we do have to win. With that in mind, I have gone for a defensive 4-3-3 formation, and Chancel Mbemba makes his debut on the series as Matthijs Jorgensen picked up a knock just before kickoff. We do go with a midfield 3, and Philip Billing plays alongside Marcus Llorente in defensive midfield, with John McGinn playing just ahead of them. And Neil Mopai plays up front, or Morpai. Someone tell me how to pronounce his name, please. Someone in the comments. Is it Morpai or Mopai or Mopai? So Liverpool are playing the standard 4-2-3-1, but they're playing Victor Fisher as a number 10. Isn't he the bloke that couldn't hack it in Middlesbrough? How on earth is he in the Liverpool team? Things started off really well for us as after 5 minutes, Neil Maupay played it through to Oliver Burke on the wing, and his shot was saved by Alisson. It was a very encouraging start. And what was even more encouraging was after 27 minutes, we were playing the ball around very nicely. Like, we were keeping the ball very well. Liverpool couldn't get anywhere near us. This is great to watch. That wasn't until Chancellor Mbemba disconnected. And then Mo Salah chipped the ball into the box with Divock Origi to escape Mbemba and put it in the back of the net. Why have I started Chancellor Mbemba in a game like this? Why? What was the reasoning behind that? And it soon got worse as Divock Origi then teed up Fabinho and he fired it in the back of the net. 2-0. I mean, surely this can't get worse than this. And it certainly did as Andy Robertson's cross found Divock Origi, and after his header hit the bar and came back down, Paul Dummett just fired it into the back of the net. I mean, what the hell is he doing? He's Dummett again. So 3-0 down at half-time. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's not like we can't come back from this. Liverpool have done it before in Champions League finals. We can do it to them in a game which really doesn't matter. It's up there with the Champions League final if you think about it. Huddersfield versus Liverpool, 2005 Champions League final. We're similar statures of teams. And we've beaten Milan this year already. So it really helps when Harry Wilson's ball found Divock Origi through on goal and he fired it straight past Dean Henderson. This is embarrassing. Why did I pick this game to Livecom? We still haven't won a Livecom game this season. It's like the first season all over again. It took me until the final game of the year to Livecom a win. And then we played Liverpool at their own game as Marcus Llorente hit a long ball straight over the top of the defence for Neil Maupay to run through and goal and fire it past Alisson. 4-1. The comeback is on. I say the comeback, but I went and secured that 4-1 defeat by sending on Steve Mounier because he definitely wasn't scoring, and it proved so. Oh well, roll on the next game. It's only Fulham, isn't it? The board also offered me a new 2-year deal because I'm overachieving as fuck at the moment with Huddersfield, and they gave me an 11.75 million transfer budget. And of course I accepted it because this series is going to go on for a long time. I bet you can't wait. I certainly can't wait. Marcus Llorente and Elias Kachunga somehow managed to pick up the same injury in the same training session. I don't think that's ever happened to me in Football Manager history. The FA Cup third round draw was made and we got West Ham United at home. I mean, couldn't they have given me like a fun tie, like a non-league team away from home so I can get embarrassed on this series again? Callum Hudson-Odoi also got second in Young Player of the Month. I mean, he's going up the rankings, but he's not really doing much for me at the moment. The worst news I've got this season, Chris Brunt has got himself injured for the season and he might retire because of it. Well, if he does retire, at least I can send him off with this great montage. Chris Brunt has actually scored a fucking goal. You love to see it. He scored against Burnley. He gave us the lead. Chris Brunt on the edge of the box and he turned and shot into the back of the net. An unstoppable shot found Chris Brunt on the wing. And without even thinking, he volleyed across into the box for Steve. I can't be the only one crying. But now it's time for our away game at Fulham, and Fulham are currently battling relegation while we're still in the top half of the table. And I've kept with the same formation that played in the game against Liverpool, but we have made a few changes to the side. So Reguilon replaces Paul Dummett at left back because Paul Dummett has now been dropped for the own goal he scored last game. Sergi Samper replaces the injured Marcus Llorente in defensive midfield, and Eros Grezda replaces Ollie Burke on the right hand side as we are going a bit more attacking, I should say. And if this squad can't beat Fulham, then nothing will, and I will never win a Livecom game ever again. I can guarantee that. Oh great, Fulham have got Raul de Thomas up front, the bloke that I loaned from Real Madrid last season thinking he was going to smash the championship, and he got 4 goals. I can guarantee he's going to score against me, isn't he? And after 15 minutes, Lazar Markovic then played in Raul de Thomas, who fired it straight past Henderson. Of course that would fucking happen. Of course that would fucking happen on this episode. And only 3 minutes later, Steven Sessegnon played Lazar Markovic down the wing and he crossed it in the box for Ryan Babel to put into the back of the net. I mean, what on earth is Dean Henderson doing? It's the weakest header I've ever seen and Dean Henderson just lets it go past him. I might not Livecom a game for the rest of the season now. Tom Kearney then had a free kick which was well saved by Dean Henderson, although Fulham thought it went over the line. Good try. And we were 2-0 down at half time. Brilliant. But I told the players they have to pull their socks up because if they don't get a result from this, then they're definitely going to be training on a Sunday. And I've got stuff to do on a Sunday, like walk the dog and go to my other job at Waitrose. But in order to turn the tide, I sent on Nick Powers to replace John McGinn and play in the number 10 role. And it really worked as the ball was played through my defence. Reguilon decided to fall in his arse and Markovic fired it straight past Henderson. 3-0, game over. 2 defeats by 3 goals on this episode. By 2 different teams at 2 ends of the table. I can't believe this. But do you love to see it? Because I fucking don't.